Hi, everybody. Welcome to another clarity sessions. Um, I don't know why it's always very weird. Anytime I get to do this, I feel like I would have always had a long day, and then I'll be clamoring for strength after. But it's always exciting to do this. So everybody, welcome to clarity sessions. For people that are watching this particular session for the first time or engaging with clarity for the first time, Clarity Session was built as a resource to help young people, millennials, get the clarity that not only strengthens confidence, but equips people with the ability to go on all their dreams. And so, what we do, or what we did when we wanted to start, was we talk about in the centered by when people are talking about things, typically they want to go to someone older, and that's not a problem entirely. But then it takes away the fact that you can share whilst you're still on your journey. And what we're trying to do with what we're building is that we want to help people to be able to see that there are people like you that are building or trying to learn what you're trying to learn. And so we keep this young in terms of having younger people share their journey. And and what we have seen that we had happen is that when people have the clarity of intention, the universe conspires to make it happen. And from the different classes, there's different sessions that we have had. We have seen how just by being able to say, I have a clear direction of where I am going, it makes it a bit easier to know what you want to do. Think about it. One of the examples you always give is the moment you say and you are clear in your mind that you want to buy a red Toyota Camry 2024, instantly you begin to see a red Toyota Camry 2024 everywhere you go. What happens is that it's not because there's never been a red Toyota Camry 2024 on the road. It's just that you've not been able to conceive it in your mind that you can have this. And so when the opportunity comes, when the vision, when the sight of it comes, you don't clock in your head that this is something that I want. But the moment you are clear, you have cleared your intention, you are certainly sure that I want this. And so when it comes to the different topics that we have, what we're trying to help people do is to declutter the indecisiveness, the different things, just have clarity of intention. And then you'd begin to see how opportunities would begin to come your way. And so I typically don't, I've only taken one of these sessions and I don't know if I'm going to take another one again. And we've had like 20. And so I always say that for us, we don't mind. We're not always the information, the knowledge has to come from us. It can come through us, and so we're not keen on being the one that is having all the sessions. So what we typically always do is look for speakers month on month, and then we have the sessions with them. But today we have monetizing your content, and why is this important to have this session? Everywhere you go is content creation. It's very annoying, but it's amazing. I am tired of it because everyone is a content creator, and I think the thinking towards that is the fact that we now have technology, whether it's a mobile phone, whether it's the internet, whether it's how fast the internet can go, that takes our everyday life and put it out into content. And so, because we have to take second of our everyday life and put it out, that has become content. And so, people have gotten some level of opportunities from it. But content is broad across multiple places. And what we are doing with this particular session is to help people know how to monetize your content. There are a lot of people that would stay in the place of passion if the information on how to convert passion into profit is not available. And so what we are hoping to do with this session is to help you build like a powerful income stream. How do you maximize your digital presence and how are you able to gain practical, actionable insights to start monetizing your content with confidence? And so we have no other person but drum rolls, Prince Oluwatosin, to take us through the session. And I know Prince personally, but not as close. But if you are looking for a master of all trades, just a jack of all trades, master of many, it's Prince. Prince is really, really, really good at what he does. And from both communication, like I know him from the design point, and then I've seen him show up in many places from writing books to creating content, to teaching people about content, to building products, to building companies. And if you've ever come across the 24/7 gospel vibes on Instagram, this is the face behind it. And maybe not just him, but this is the founder and the team behind it as well. So there's no other person that we can have this conversation with, at least within my circle, that I would be able to share on how to be able to build this. And so we're excited to have Prince. And so I would drop my conversation from now and then hand over the sharing and speaking to Prince to take us through the rest of the session. So thank you, everybody. And please let's put that together as a welcome Prince. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Please allow me share my screen and we'll pick it up from there.
So you can share your screen.
All right, I'm doing that right away. So can you see my screen now?
It's coming up.
All right, I just needed to come up. And
It's come up. I can see your screen.
okay, it's up now.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for having me on this call. I celebrate everyone on this call right now. It's been an amazing day, and like the Hoga at the top said, right? It's most times these sessions comes at the time when we think we need to retire to bed and just rest before we come up again, and we are excited for the next time, just to be agile and to get a lot of things done. But unfortunately, this is what impacts us. We just have to be available for all sessions like this, even though it's not so convenient for us. And I'm excited. I'm always excited to be on sessions like this, to share my knowledge, to share my from the years of experience and from my story, my journey, and all that with young folks and individuals looking to gain clarity and looking to gain experience in their space as much as possible, right? And on today's session, what we are looking at is monetizing your content, and this is presented as the remotely inspired clarity session. And today's session is basically focused on monetizing your content, helping you transform your skills and your content into um sustainable income, right? It's not just a one time thing. One thing about the beauty of social media or the digital space right now is whatever is that we create right now, it's lifetime. It's just here for life. And this is one of the reasons why these sessions have to come up. And it's for anyone who is supposed to be in this session or who is on this session at the moment. I want to believe you are someone who is interested in turning your content into powerful income stream. You want to build a thriving brand. You're looking at monetizing your digital presence. Even if you don't have one at the moment, you're looking at building your own personal brand to the level at which it becomes a money resource for you, right? A source of income for you. And while you are sleeping, while you are living, while you are still doing life, you're making money from your digital content. And one of the things that we'll also cover from this session is the strategies, real world experiences and examples, and looking at also sharing actionable steps to kickstart and to scale your journey in monetizing your content. So, one thing I asked myself when I was reached out to, so who is this session for? This question bugged me a lot, and I was trying to just gauge the persons and the people that might be interested in these sessions. And I came to understand that, Professionals, this session is for professionals, this session is for creatives, this session is for content creators. You know, if you are an expert in any field, this session is for you. If you're an artist, if you are a content person, or you're just a newbie, you don't even know what to do, or you don't have clarity on how to go about this session is for you. And I'm excited to be sharing this with you. I'm always excited to be sharing this with you. Ignore my serious face, but I'm always excited to be sharing this every time I have the opportunity to do this, right? So what are the objectives? What are the objectives? What do we look at? What do we look at achieving? From this session, the first thing we look at achieving is to understand the fundamentals of monetizing your content. What are the fundamentals? What do we want to do? Or what's the foundation, right, of monetizing your content? You'll be able to identify various revenue streams for content creators. When I say content creators right now, I'm not talking about those that have their ring lights and all that coming up. I'm talking about everybody. Professionals, remember I said this is for you. Either you're a professional, you're a creative content creator, expert. So well, as I go on in this session, I'll be referring to everybody as maybe content creators or digital creators and all that. So I want you to be rest assured that this session is for you. This session will also help you, build and engage and loyal audience. The truth of the matter is the bedrock of monetizing your content is your audience. Yeah, we will go fully into it, and I want to assure you that this session is for you. Basically, um I hope we are able to finish this session. Right. Uh, the next thing we will try to understand how to attract and to negotiate. Uh, Please, can you mute? I think you're unmuted.
It has been muted.
Okay, thank you. So we'll try to understand how to attract, negotiate brand collaborations rather, develop the right mindset for the long-term success. As a digital creator, as a content creator, one thing that is important, a tool that is so important for you is resilience and setting a long-term goal, patience, and all that, and consistency. We'll go into it, but I just want to establish right now that the fact that you're a content creator or you're starting as a digital creator doesn't mean you make the millions in a day. It's a gradual step. Right? So I want to welcome every one of you. I welcome you. I say welcome once again. And if you can just emoji by the time you are checking this, you are watching this session, drop an emoji if you're excited as much as I am. So to go ahead in this session. All right, so I said a lot about Prince Oluwatosin, but I love to introduce myself. I love to introduce myself as much as possible because I don't assume that I'm well known, irrespective of how many sessions I've taken, how many digital sessions and all that I've taken, right? So Prince is a Scrum Master and Agile professional. Recently just ventured into Scrum and, a media and communications consultant. I'm a music business executive, do a lot as regards talent management and digital strategy. I work with so many gospel artists with the platform 247 Gospel Vibes. And, also as a music executive, I've taken a lot of sessions on music business and all, right? This journey started over a decade ago, and over 10 years. 247 Gospel Bank Vibes, which is our flagship brand at the moment, is over 10 years. It's over a decade, and for the brand to be over a decade, I personally started the journey years before that. I remember I started maybe 100 level in my university days. Truthfully, I love to say this. I studied accounting in school, or I won't say it's unfortunate, but right. Yeah, I'm an accountant, a BSc certified accountant, and the journey has just been wonderful from there. I've written and authored 4 books, and I have other digital digital content that I have as a resource for everyone, young and old, that are interested in just monetizing their passion. You're interested in building a brand for yourself. For the last 2 years, I think it was 2 years thereabout, Prince was recognized as by GLS, Global Leadership Summit, if we know Global Leadership Summit, for 10 years of leadership and service, and was featured on Seller. We'll be talking more about Seller at the course of this session. We're featured on Seller, featured on Punch, Chase Media, and quite a number of other media platforms also. I'm also a member of the Forbes BLK. Forbes BLK. One other thing that I love to make mention of when I'm introduced, plantain is the best food you can desire, right? I love plantain so much. I love plantain so much, and complemented with beans, right? But right, so that's about Prince Oluwatosin. And the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we'll just go fully into why we are here, which is understanding monetization, which is monetizing your content. And the first thing we want to look into is understanding monetization. What exactly is monetization, right? What exactly is monetization? Because there's no how we want to monetize our content if we don't know what the monetization is even all about. Monetization basically is the act of converting your content, your skills, or expertise into revenue streams. And when we are talking about revenue streams, we are talking about income, right? How do you make money from what you do, from the content you are dishing out? How do you make money from that skill that you have? How do you make money from that content that you have? So a skill for somebody might be to speak. You are good at speaking, you are good at just talking, and people, when you handle the mic or when you enter a room, people just listen. That's a skill for you. Some people, they are good at writing. They can spend hours putting fantastic content together and dishing it out there. That's a skill. Expertise also. If you are a digital strategist, it's an expertise. You spend so much years and years of experience in that field as a communications person. It's an expertise, right? So how do you now make money from these things that we've talked about? The first thing is you need to even identify your skills. Have you identified the skills that you have? Have you identified the skills that you have? That's the question I want to ask you. And if you are in the comment section right now, if you have identified your skills, I want you to just drop a thumbs up and drop the skills that you have identified. What are those skills that you have identified? It's important, right? It's important. The first thing you need to do before you even think of monetizing the skill is identifying. And that is why we are on this clarity session right now. That's why we are on this clarity session. But unfortunately, we won't be going so deep into identifying your skill, because that's not why this session is put together. The session is basically on how to monetize your skill. But one thing I want to assure you is everything I'll be saying on this session today, everything I'm talking about today has been coined out of two major resources that I have: my book From Passion to Profit, and the other book Show Up and Show Off. Right? From Passion to Profit basically detail how to identify your skill. How do you identify that passion? How do you identify the space at which you want to venture into? And from there, you also look at strategies to monetize that passion, monetize that skill that you have, monetize your expertise and all that. So I want to advise you at the end of this session, just get that book, because quite a number of things we might not be able to speak or to talk in depth about some of these things and some of these strategies. But with that book, I have highlighted quite a number of things that will help you in discovering and monetizing your skill or your passion or your content, right? Well, before I move to the next slide, one other thing that I need to emphasize on is the key success factor The key success factor to monetizing your passion is value, or to monetizing your content, monetizing your skill is value. Are you providing value? Are you providing value? And value when we talk about value, I try as much as possible to not restrict it to a certain space or a certain sphere, but you need to understand what value is. What value are you emitting as a brand, as an individual, right? Are you providing value? Do you have an audience? Do you know who your audience are? Have you identified them? And are you consistent? Are you consistent? Consistency is key to monetizing and converting your content, your skills, and your expertise into revenue streams, right? So, what are the different ways to earn from your skills or your content, right? We are talking about monetizing your content. What are the different ways? I hope you can do this with me. Uh, Everything I'll be talking about today, like I said, I've been gotten from the book From Passion to Profit and Show Up and Show Off. But the first thing, like I said, is what are the ways to earn from that skills or content? Can you identify the ways? If not, that is why you are on this session. That is why we are here for you on this clarity session. The different ways to earn from your skills and your content. The first thing is to ensure that you have a digital product. You have a digital product. I'm not talking so much about content creation at the moment because I know that you are already a content creator. You already have platforms like, I don't want to assume, but you being on this session means you already have access to this content. You're already a content creator, but what you need to learn is how to monetize it. Right. So for you as a content creator, as an expert in your field, as a what do we call it, as a communications consultant, as a fashion designer, as a 9 to 5, as a professional, how do you monetize your skills, right? The first thing is to create a digital product. When we are talking about digital products, we are talking about selling ebooks, we are talking about selling courses. As an artist, your music is also a digital product. Right? If this were to be a session for music artists only, I will be diving deep so much into music marketing and monetizing your music and all that. But because we have a vast number of professionals from different fields on this call right now, so we are talking about you know creating a digital product. It can be an art, it can be templates, it can be templates. At the end of this session, I can decide to put these slides together and sell it as a digital product. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of this session, I can decide that, okay, we have recorded this session, and this session, I know the value of this session. So I'm packaging this session and I'm putting it out there as a course using platforms that might be available to us, using platforms that we'll be talking about before the end of this session to sell this product. You understand what I'm saying? So digital products are goods that exist in digital formats. You don't need, there are physical products that you need a physical office. You need to, put them together, go to the market, sell them, maybe have a bookshop and all that. You necessarily don't have to do this. What you just need to do is to create it in a PDF format. We are talking about ebook right now. Create it in a PDF format and put it out there. Create your course in a recorded format, put it out there and start selling, start creating content and start promoting, driving as much visibility as possible. They are typically delivered. Digital products are delivered to customers via downloads or via emails. After it has been purchased, they just ship it directly to their mail. It's sent automatically to their mail, to their for them to download directly. Right. So that's one of the what we call it now, the forms of the ways at which you can monetize your skills, right? The other thing is creating coaching and consulting. For coaching and consulting, you already have this expertise. You know how to prepare slides. Now, how do you monetize this? You can sessions create sessions that will help people Maybe train people on how to design slides, train people on how to put together a resource and all this. These are coaching and consulting sessions. You already have expertise in this field. You already know how to do these things. I'm speaking generally to experts and to professionals, not only content creators anymore, right? The other thing is to create ads and sponsorship. You are driving revenue from ad placement and brand deals. And that is why you see people like Sabinus, you see people like what do we call it? You see people like the Dank family, Dear Ife, I think it's Dear Ife or something like that. You see people like Salem King. They are having brands, non-adverts on their platforms. Non-ads. They pay for these sessions. They pay for this session. So it's important that we know that it's not only about creating digital products. It's not only about creating content and just publishing your content. You have a massive following. You necessarily don't even need a massive following. That's one thing I need to establish. You necessarily don't need a massive following. What you just need is an audience that values what you have and what you are dishing out. Right. We're also looking at membership and subscriptions. What thank God for monthly inspires that is giving out this clarity session for free for people to register and to access this resource. For some set of people and for some experts and professionals, this is a tailored membership and subscription that what do we call it now? Resource that only members of a certain community will have access to this. Only members that have subscribed to this will have access to it. Thank God for YouTube. I got to understand that even on YouTube right now, there's a way you can upgrade your platform, that there are content that are dished out to subscribers only. The same thing on TikTok. There are content that are dished out to subscribers only. The same thing on Instagram. There are some Instagram communities that are dished out to subscribers only. Subscribers only. And they pay for these things. They pay for these sessions, right? So this is one of the ways at which you can also earn from your content, right? The last thing is affiliate marketing. It's the last and it's not the least, but it's the last on this slide at the moment, but it's not the least. There are several ways at which we can earn from our content. But the last thing I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. As an affiliate marketer, what you are basically doing is you are earning commissions. You are earning a certain amount of money, a certain percentage from promoting products and services that you have no input in. I have a book. I have a book that I've put together, and the book is From Passion to Profit, right? And I'm selling it already. You, as an affiliate marketer, can subscribe as an affiliate marketer to the book, and you say, okay, so as an affiliate marketer, I will be promoting this book, and you get 30% from all the sales that you make. The same thing, it's just like a referral setup. It's like a referral setup. I'm referring people to your brand. This is the certain amount of money or certain percentage I'm getting from it. And that is affiliate marketing. That is affiliate marketing. For some of us that are in Nigeria, Nigeria is where I'm currently based at the moment. And for some of us that are in Nigeria, right, you understand this, what do we call it? These Igbo guys. These Igbo guys, when you go to, especially if you're in Lagos, and you go to, Oshodi, you go to Yaba, and you go to, buy stuff around this area, you understand, you discover that there is the main man that owns the shop. There is the main man that owns the shop, has the business and all that. But there are about 15, 10, 5, 7 different people just canvassing for you to come buy from this person. Okay, is it my shop? Okay, I have this. So yeah, come. I have this. Come. I have this. What do you want to buy? I have this. They are basically affiliate marketers. And what they do is they take you to the person's shop And after you've bought from the person, they market it, they market as much as possible, they try to convince you as much as possible, even get the business owner involved, and he tries as much as possible to also make you see reasons why you should buy from him. And after you have bought, he get the guy that brings you, or the guy that brought you, gets commission, get a certain amount of money off the sales. So that is affiliate marketing. The same thing happens in the digital world, right? The same thing happens in the digital world. I don't have thank God for some platforms at the moment, right? Thank God for some platforms that allow you to register as an affiliate marketer. And the likes of Seller, the likes of I've forgotten. There's one major affiliate marketing platform in Nigeria. Everywhere on Twitter, Expertnear, right? Everywhere on Twitter, you're seeing this set of people, right? So these are other forms. These are different ways to earn from your content. We can talk about these things on coaching and consulting only. We can spend hours. On it. On creating your digital product, you can spend hours on it. But just allow me just run through these sessions. But I want to advise you that you get this book, From Passion to Profit, and you see structures and different ways for you to go about this thing. It's been highlighted, strategies and all that, for you to go about these things we are talking about. Now, the next thing you want to do is to build an engaged audience. And I know most of us that are on the call right now, we are content creators, or we are experts, we are professionals and all that. And we already have platforms where we are dishing out our content. We already have platforms where you are dishing out your content. It might be LinkedIn, it might be Twitter, it might be um, Instagram, it might be your email, maybe a newsletter or something. But what you want to ensure you are doing is you are not just dumping content of them. You are not making social media your dump site. I said in one of my content that social media is not a dump site. It's a place to drive value. It's a place that you offer value. So offering value is what helps you build an engaged audience, an audience that trusts you, and that can buy or patronize you and for what you do. And there's a formula for it which I put together, which says engagement equals to trust, influence, and monetization. Right. By the time you have an engaged community, they trust you, you are influencing them, and you are monetizing your gift, you are monetizing your content from there. So a loyal audience converts better than a large passive following. I talked about the followers right now. So it's not about, the last time I talked about content, it's not about you just building or just creating. And that is why it breaks my heart when I see people buy followers on Instagram, buy followers on this platform and all that, because they want the numbers. They want the numbers. But it's not about the numbers anymore. The world has moved from numbers. We are moving to loyal audience, building a community at the moment. And that is why one of the reasons why I love Salem King so much is he's a king of community. Even to the extent as which he wrote a book on community itself. Right. So it's important that you move your mindset. You have a mindset shift, which is moving from just building a large following into building an engaged and a loyal audience. There's something in marketing that we call KLT formula, know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. And people know you from the number of content you are putting out. What you want to try as much as possible to put out as many content as possible. It might be about your product, it might just be about um uh, things that you want people to know about your industry. It might be fun content, it might be content that's to empower or to what do you call this now? To engage. It might be content that you are basically just putting out to inform. It might be content that you are putting out to educate, right? So as much as possible, try as much as possible to create as much content or as many content as possible. That is where people know you. If they don't know you, you cannot build an audience. The next thing is they like you. after so many content, you have provided value over time. People will like you for who you are. And that is why you see people saying, I'm a fan of Salem King, I'm a fan of uh Kagen Tech or something. I'm a fan of this person, I'm a fan of this person. I'm a fan of Moses Bliss, I'm a fan of Dunsin Oyekon and all that. Because over time they have built a loyal audience that know them and they like them. And people have moved to this place at which they trust them. Right? So from there, after they trust, they are now influencing and they're monetizing. And that is why Dunsin Oyekon will release a song today and it will have several numbers of streams on digital platforms, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Apple Music, on Spotify, because he has moved his audience from knowing to liking to trusting to influencing them, and he has moved them to monetizing them. This journey is how you build an engaged audience and an engaged community. Right. So how do you find and attract your audience? Now, this is one of the ways, because there's no how you want to sell, there's no how you want to monetize without identifying your target audience, without identifying your audience. There's no how. Right. So I try as much as possible when I talk about content. This is not a session on content creation. Right. But when I talk about content creation, one of the things I say is the first thing you need to do is to identify your niche and your target audience. So who am I speaking to? Who what business am I in? What industry do I play in? You get, identify your niche. Once you identify your niche and you know who you are targeting, it makes it easier for you. It makes it easier for you to attract the audience that can buy your product or your content. You get, we understand that we are moving from building an engaging content. Now we are moving into, you have an engaged audience already. How do you now, monetize that audience? Right. Or how do they find you? How do they now find you? And we talk about, SEO, keyword, and all that. Those are some of the things that can help you increase your reach and your visibility of any content that you are creating. Because the bedrock for monetization, like I said, is content, is value. So once you create this value and all that, and no one is seeing you, no one is engaging it. So what's the essence? I'm not saying, remember I said we should not focus on the numbers. Numbers at the moment, the number that you should be um concerned about. If you check Instagram, right? If you check Instagram, so many people are concerned about likes, so many people are concerned about comments, so many people are concerned about shares and all that. Yeah, it's so much important, it's so very important. I advise it. But above all, the number you should be concerned about is the number of posts you have created. How many contents have you created? Now, I was listening to Salem King in a an interview, and he said at the moment there was a time he was obsessed about the number of followers that he has, and the number of followers he's building and all that. But he got to a stage that he just got tired of the followers, and you know he had to shift his focus from number of followers to value. What value am I dishing out? How many content am I creating? I set the goal of creating 10 contents per week. I set the goal of creating 3 contents per week. Have I created them? In the last 1 year, how many content have I dished out? You get, so these are some of the things that are important, right? And you need to ensure that you're engaging with your community. Engage with followers through content. Ensure that you are sharing your story. Stories humanize your brand and they create emotional connections. We are in a world of storytelling. And story is so much important. But you need to share your story. Without sharing your story, you might not be able to attract the audience that can monetize, that can buy into that vision and will help you monetize your content. Share your story, share your journeys, share your struggles and successes, to resonate with your audience. this is a crash course on content creation on its own, and I had to talk about this because there's no how we talk about monetizing your content, and we are not talking about how to, attract that audience that will pay for that value, that will pay. It's one thing to create content, it's one thing to create the digital product, it's one thing to create the counseling sessions, it's one thing to put all those resources and courses together, but it's another thing for you to have a warm audience that is ready and willing to tap into all this content and all these materials that you have created. Right. So let's move into the next session, the next slide, which is leveraging multiple revenue streams. Multiple revenue streams. Remember, we talked about the forms of revenues. I guess, yeah, forms of revenue in the sessions that we in one of the slides. Now, if you are enjoying this session, I want you to just remember the sessions, the forms of revenue I talked about as a digital creator, right? The forms of revenue I talked about. I want you to drop this in the comment section. If you are watching, maybe you are watching this replay, or you are live on the call right now, I want you to just drop. I talked about digital product and some other things. I want you to drop them. I can see them and I can see that you are engaged, right? So how many of these can you combine or can be combined? How many can be combined? More revenue streams equals to higher stability and scalability. Higher stability and scalability. More revenue streams equals to higher stability and scalability. Now, how do you leverage multiple streams? The first thing you do is you create a digital product, which is ebook, courses, templates, and all that we've talked about, right? And you are selling those ones on autopilot. You're selling it on autopilot. Quite a number of persons are buying and all that for you. The next step you need to move into is, maybe create offer affiliate marketing. Offer affiliate marketing. So you have a community of 10 people or so. Just put it out there. I'm dishing out. I'm giving you 10% for on each and every product that you sell. I'm giving you 20% on each and every product that you sell. As an affiliate for this product, you yourself can even register as an affiliate marketer, right? So you necessarily don't have to create the courses. Now, I'm talking to digital creators at the moment, right? And I'm talking about how to create a digital product, which is ebook. I necessarily don't need a full resource or a full video course and all that on how to create ebooks. There are 1, 2, 3 persons in the digital space that I can trust, or in my community that I can trust, that these people know their onions. What you just need to do is reach out to these people. Okay, so I know you have this content, I know you have this and that. I want to register as an affiliate marketer for this your content. So you have your ebooks. I want to register as an affiliate marketer for it. You have the courses. I want to register as an affiliate marketer for it. What can you offer me? 10%, 20%. You are not spending time on what do we call it now? 20, 30, 40%, right? But you are not spending so much time creating the digital product. Right? You are not spending so much time putting these things together. What you are just doing is marketing it and getting your own commission. The same thing applies to people that can decide to be an affiliate marketer for your product. The next thing you want to do is to generate ad revenue from YouTube blogs and podcasts, right? Over time, you discover that sorry, I say a lot about Salim King because when it comes to digital product creation, when it comes to building a community and all that, Salim King is one of the masters of this space. And I watch his sessions, interviews, and his courses and all that a lot. I buy some of these materials a lot. And in one of his sessions also, he was talking about um regretting not focusing on YouTube, but putting so much effort and energy on Instagram. Right. Because the truth of the matter is YouTube, creating content on YouTube is so important, and it has a what do you call it? A longevity lifespan. right? If you search on YouTube right now and you search for how to do this, or okay, just search how to leverage multiple streams of income as a digital creator on YouTube, you can see a content. You can see a content that was uploaded 5, 6, 10, 7 years time before now, right? But on Instagram, there's no way you can even search for something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So when it gets to a time, when it gets to a certain stage, you get monetized if you are leveraging on YouTube. If you are leveraging on YouTube, when it gets to a certain time, you get monetized and you start earning from your streams from your although right, you need at the moment I think you need 1,000 subscribers, you need 4,000 watch hours, right? But it's just what it is. It's just what it is. This you cannot get from at the moment, you can't get it from Instagram. There are several ways to make money from Instagram. There are also several ways from YouTube. The other, and over time you've been dishing out content and you start making money. But that's one of the parts people see and people think of. We just say you're making money. I've I've had to deal with a lot of upcoming artists and a lot of people blog. You're making money for my songs and all that. This is not a space to debunk that. Blogging is one of the ways you can make money. You can monetize your skill. You can monetize your expertise. You can monetize your product and all that, or your content. Right? Blogging is one of the ways. So by writing about them and all that, you're driving traffic and all to your blog. For some people, I talked about some people that have podcasts. Right? You can also generate. Right? The next thing, you can also offer coaching and consultation things together. It's a system and a template that works. A system and a template that works. And you need to sell digital products, you need affiliate marketing, YouTube and all that. You need to start offering coaching sessions and consulting services for your expertise. But what are the tools you need and what are the skills you need? For selling digital products, in case you don't have a digital product at the moment, you need tools like Canva, you need tools like Google Doc, Adobe Suits, right? For Canva, you can use Canva to design your ebook. You can use Canva to even write your ebook. The first book I wrote and I published in I think it was 2018 or 2019 there, about the first book. It was done on Canva. It was done on Canva. My book, From Passion to Profit, which is selling on Amazon at the moment, was done on Canva. You get what I'm saying? So it's not about the sophisticated tools anymore. Just ensure that you know your onions and you know how to do it. Even if you don't know how to do it, you can just get somebody to get it done for you. At the moment, we publish books for people, right? So I understand that quite a number of persons might not know how to go about it, and we as possible who want to publish their books or want to create one thing or the other. But if you are creating courses also, one thing you also need is Google Doc. Right? With Google Doc, with Adobe Suite, you can put these things together. The skills you need for selling digital products is design and writing, and maybe talking. You need to learn how to talk and how to interact, how to communicate with people as much as possible. And if you are talking about affiliate marketing, we are talking about affiliate marketing. Like I said, you don't need to create anything for as an affiliate marketer. You don't need to create the product. What you just need is platform for you to drive as much visibility and traffic as possible to that content that has been created or to that product that has been created. And that is where we're talking about Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, email and all that, right? So these are platforms, these are tools to drive traffic to as an affiliate marketer. And you can do all these things. Like I said, you can combine all these skills and get them done. Right? And the skills, selling, content creation, you need to know how to sell, you need to know how to create content. to drive traffic to these things. And if you are talking about, you want to start creating content on YouTube, blogs, podcasts, these are for people that haven't started. I know many of us are experts in that field already. We are creating vlogs, we are creating podcasts, we are doing all that. But for those people that haven't started, right, you don't need sophisticated materials or skill or tools and all that. With your phone, you are good to go. With your phone, you are good to go for creating content. With your webcam, you are good to go. With a screen recorder like Loom, you are good to go in recording sessions like this and putting it out on what do we call it now, on YouTube, right? With a platform like Google Meet, you're able to record your session also and put it out on platforms. With YouTube, Zoom, you're able to record your content. So if you use Mac, there's a shortcut that is just there. There's a shortcut Shift Command 5. Shift Command 5. It gives you a recorder directly, and you're able to screen record your content. You don't even need an extra tool, right? So these are ways for you to create YouTube content. These are ways for you to create courses. These are ways for you um to share your expertise and all that. And we are talking about skills needed. We are talking about editing skills, speaking skills, slide creations and all that, right? So the platform now that I want to talk about, after you've created all these things, you need a platform to sell, and that is Seller. Seller is one of the platforms that I recommend in Nigeria. But if you're watching this video from other parts of the country, um, you can use your personal website. If you don't have a personal website, there's WhatsApp Business. WhatsApp Business is, you are able to create a catalog on WhatsApp Business, and with that catalog, as simple as it is, with that catalog, you're able to sell your content, put it out there, and all that. There's another platform, not included here, Gumroad or something, right? For anyone watching this video from outside of the country, with this you're able to create to sell your digital product, to sell your courses and all that, right? So I we spent a lot of time on that, but it's important that you learn how to do these things, because there are ways for you to monetize. Without going through this process, you might not be able to even monetize at all, right? So the key strategies to for sales driven content, key strategies for sales driven content, creating content that sells. How do you create content that sells? Ensure that you are creating educational and valuable content. They build trust, like I said, balance organic and promotional content, 80% value, 20% sales. 80% value helps you build trust. We talk about trust, we talk about all that stuff the other day, the other time on one of the slides. So this these are ways for you to create content that can drive sales to these products that you have. You also need to ensure that you are using a call to action on all your platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Use call to action to direct audience to what they need to do. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to buy this? There should be a call to action. Do you want them to comment? There should be a call to action. What do you want them to do? That is what call to action is all about. And the next thing we'll be talking about is brand collaborations and sponsorship. Um, you know, you need to ensure that you use your audience, you collaborate with brands that align with your niche and values. You I was listening to one one interview, and the person said he tried as much as possible not to collaborate with some brands. There are individuals that any brand just bring it. As much as you are paying me, I get to go. I get to go. I work. But there are people that are interested in what is the value this brand is adding to my community or to my brand. What is the value I am adding to his brand? Like we said, or we established at the beginning of this session, I own a brand called 247 Gospel Vibes. And over time we've had some set of artists reach out to us for promotions and for marketing and all that. But the first thing we do is to listen to their songs. When we listen to their songs, we tell you, I'm sorry if the song doesn't meet the par, the level at which we know that you need it can be marketed and it can fit our platform. We just tell you, I'm sorry, this content doesn't fit. And we advise you accordingly how to go about it. Do you need to reproduce the content? Do you need to get a better video? Do you need to, we advise you accordingly. We don't just say, we can't do it. We advise you accordingly. And of course, we are open to you bringing it back by the time you have adjusted these things that we talked about. So this is where value and all that comes in. You don't just collaborate and get sponsorship from all brands, right? Because you need the money and all. But I already talked about how to get brand collaborations and all. I think we'll be talking about that in the next. Okay, yeah, this slide. So how do you now attract and negotiate brand deals? We have contents. One of the ways for you to generate income is to get brand collaborations and sponsorships. This is one of the ways for you to monetize your content. So you have this audience that is engaging enough, and you are saying, how do I now go about it? How do I go about it? How do I go about it? So you have an audience that that is engaging enough. You've tried all the other ways of monetizing your brand, but you want to try these other aspects because you don't put our egg in one basket, right? So now, how do you now attract and negotiate these brands? The first thing you need to do is to create a compelling media kit. Highlight your audience, highlight your reach, highlight your impact. If you check Instagram, you're able to know your numbers, and you put all these things together in a media kit, right? In a media kit that you're able to share with the world. One of the digital products that I have is electronic press kit, a media kit, like a template, a sample for you that easily edited and all that. If you need that, you can also at the end of this session, I'll be talking about some of the products that is available for you guys. So you can try it out, you can check it out also. It helps you putting this media kits together. You highlight your audience, highlight your reach and your impact. You want to create a strong pitch also. Be clear on what you offer. How will your brand benefit the brand that you are reaching out to? How do they benefit from it? How are you also benefiting from it? Right? Be clear. Right? Understand brand expectation. So this brand, what are they expecting from me as a brand? You're not just a what do we call it now? A content creator anymore. You are a brand, you are a business yourself. So what are the expectations, and can you deliver on those measurable results? Can you deliver measurable results? If yes, you are good to go. Put these things together and start shooting mails and start shooting brands, some mails, cold calls, and all that. And you are good to go. You might just be lucky after maybe 2 or 3 mails, you get a brand that is interested in working with you and collaborating with you, and they are ready to pay you for your audience or for your content. And what you just do is just go about creating your content and start making money from as many other brands as possible. Right. So if we are talking about monetizing your content, you want to ensure that you are thinking long term. You treat content creation as a business. You are thinking long term. You are not just thinking in the next 2 weeks, in the next 4 months. I was having a conversation with somebody today, looking into creating an ebook for himself, and we're talking about it, and he said, so fortunate, right, that we are putting this thing together for you as a publisher. However, that you are putting it together today does not mean you will sell 1,000 copies today. Does not mean you will sell 5,000 copies today. You need to ensure that you are thinking long term. A digital product is a product that has what do we call it, a long term span, right? So try as much as possible, think long term. Whatever is it that you are creating, ensure that you are creating it for the long term purpose, right? You are creating content also. You are thinking of content creation as a business, not just as a content creator. You are thinking long term. You are getting the necessary people that needs to be involved. You are getting them involved because it is important. You invest in branding, you invest in marketing, you invest in automation tools that helps you simplify these things. Because if not, we are just back to the basics, which is just creating content for creating sake, and get tired at the end of it, right? Because you're not making something substantial for it, right? Think long-term goal, think consistency, think branding, visibility, and all that. If you're thinking about branding and you're thinking about visibility, I said it's one of the books that you can get. Get is Show Up and Show Off, and you'll be amazed at what you gain from that book. By Prince Oluwatosin, of course. If you are thinking in monetizing your passion and putting those things together, one of the books you can also get is From Passion to Profit, right? And this resource will help you beyond what we are saying today, right? Beyond what we are saying today. The next thing you want to do is to ensure you are optimizing your workflow and content production. Optimize it as much as possible, because what you see, I have it here that batch creating is the gold mine of content creation. Invest in it wisely. Invest in it wisely. If you have enough time, what you just need to do is to schedule yourself as much as possible. There's no time. Nigeria itself is stressful enough, right? Nigeria itself is stressful enough for you to set your ring light and start creating content every day. But what you can do is to schedule Saturdays, do Fridays, schedule your free time to create 10 content for the next 1 month, right? You've written your script, schedule a free time, batch create them, 10 contents for the next 1 month, or 10 digital products, 2 digital products, batch create as much as possible, right? And then over time, you dish them out. Over time, you dish them out. You want to optimize your workflow and content production, optimize it as much as possible because it's important. If not, you just get tired along the way and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. You just get tired and you won't be able to go on with it. I want to try as much as possible to end this session very soon, right? But the next thing you want to do is to ensure that you are automating income through evergreen digital products. Create one digital product that sells like wildfire. Automate income through evergreen digital product and create that. There's just one digital product that sells like wildfire. Example of a digital product or evergreen digital product is a checklist. Example of an evergreen digital product is an ebook, right? Create one. That's that you know that in the next 2 years, people will still need this information. In the next 5 years, people will still need this information. In the next 7 years, people will still need this information. In the next, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, people will still need this information. As long as it's available on the digital space, people can still access this product. And with that one product, you're able to generate as much income as possible. You're automating your income while you are sleeping, while you're living and doing quite a number of other things, right? This product is making the money for you on automation, right? You want to also ensure that you are building partnerships to increase your reach. Build partnerships, partner with people that have your target audience, partner with people that have the audience, that they have the numbers also. As much as you have the numbers, that is your own reach. Partner with other people that can tap into their audience also. Thank God for Instagram collaborations, right? One post that I put up today, I collaborate with Mostly Inspires, I collaborate with Nifemi itself, I collaborate with 1, 2, 3 other persons. I'm tapping into their audience, they're tapping into my audience. It's called partnership. You also want to ensure that you are investing in visibility. After you've created this content and all that, invest in visibility, create content that can drive traffic to these things. Ensure you are spending on marketing, you are investing in marketing, sponsored adverts, email marketing, and all that kind of stuff, right? There are quite a number of things that we might not be able to delve into right now because we spend a lot of time already. But ensure you are building partnerships that helps you reach or helps you increase your reach. Visibility is the bedrock of sales. I said this before. Visibility is the bedrock of sales. The more visible you are, the more sales you make, right? The more visible you are, the more sales you make. And that is why you need to get show up and show off, right? get show up and show up. So what is the action plan? The action plan at the end of this session right now, why we put this session to bed, the action plan to start monetizing today is to choose one monetization strategy and start testing it. If it is ebook, start. If it is what do you call it now? Courses, start. If it is mentorship session, start. If it is all that we've talked about, pick one and start. You know, create, define your audience, growth strategy, and engagement plan. Define your audience. Who are your audience? What platform are they in? Where can I find them? And all that kind of thing. It's totally called demography, right? If it's on LinkedIn, how do you now start pushing out content on LinkedIn? These are the things you need to do immediately after this session. The next thing is create a content calendar focused on value-driven content. Create content that are additional, you are focusing on value, additional value, additional value, additional value. Remember, we talked about the 80-20% rule, 80-20% rule, 80% value, 20% sales, 80% value, 20% sales. You don't just want to keep telling people to come and buy and buy and buy, whereas you are not providing value. And the next thing you want to do is to develop that digital product or service for immediate monetization. Draft a sponsorship pitch like we talked about and reach out to potential brand and partners, right? The last thing you need to do is to get my book. I get my books From Passion to Profit and also Show Up and Show Off. These are the resources that you need to take action after this session. These are the resources that you need to take action after this session. Get the book From Passion to Profit and also Show Up and Show Off, right? And okay, I think that will be the end of the session. But I have a couple of resources. We are talking about digital products and monetizing your content and all that. These are some of the resources that I have, which you can also benefit from. But one thing I've decided to do is, there is From Passion to Profit, there is Personal Branding Toolkit, there is the Show Up and Show Off, there is Amazon Publishing Checklist, there's the Digital Church for pastors and all that interested in building a game plan for their churches, visibility and all that. But the truth is, at the end of this session, you have access to get a 20% discount on this platform for this product. For any of these products, there's a 20% discount, and we have put together a coupon code for you, courtesy of Motely Inspires. There's a coupon code Motely. If you just visit the website you are seeing on the screen right now and just input your coupon code, you get 20% discount for any of this material that you want access to. But the truth is, you cannot but go without getting these materials, because what we have just talked about today is just 1% of the 100% or the 10% that you need to know about monetizing your passion. Right? It's just 1% of that, right? And the truth is, okay, so Amazon Publishing Checklist is free. So for people that want to publish books and you want to start writing your books and all that, there's a checklist and it's free for you. So you can even get that right now, even if you don't have the money to pay for other materials. Get the Amazon Publishing Checklist. It's a way for you to start putting together your ebooks. Remember, we talk about ebooks right now, right? And yeah, that's all. That's all for me. Thank you, everyone. I want to believe we enjoy this session. So thank you. Now, my question is this the end or is it just the beginning? Is it the end of this session or just the beginning for you to start monetizing your content? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like this one of the sessions that you are just here like, wait, I need to, when you're watching stuff on like YouTube or any video streaming platform, you have the capacity to like go whether times 1.25 or you want to go times 0.5. I feel like this one you go times 0.5 so that, because like there's so much packed into what you have shared. And because I'm there and I'm there, like I feel like I'm always a culprit whenever we have these sessions. And I was, because I create a lot of things and I'm not the type that knows how to consistently post. I see my creations as very particular. And so I would want to wait, like create something that I would like before I post. And I'm just like, there are few people that don't even have the number of creations that you have, and yet they are posting consistently. I was saying to myself, okay, this March, maybe I'll create like a calendar on how many posts I want to share on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like the only socials I use often on LinkedIn and all, and see what that can generate, and then maybe use that as a benchmark for that. So, but in all honesty, I want to say thank you. This has been such a very awesome session. I enjoyed everything. I was just taking notes like, wait, what? Like this is beautiful. So thank you so much for joining. For everyone that is going to watch this afterwards, please share this with as many people as possible, because this is a fantastic session. It's probably the best we have had in a very long time, because this was knowledge at its throat, and we would share the recording with people that are registered. We'll also share it on our socials so people can go ahead to rewatch and all. Please share with us that image that has the monthly discounts, so that we can also plan to have it promoted on our page this week. So that we can also create content on our page to promote it this week, so that at least we can use it as our own form of saying thank you for as much as we can. And yeah, but we'll also share the recording with you. Um, we'll also share the recording with you. And I know that you're going to create content from it, so I'm begging you in public to please share with us.
All right. So yeah, of course, like I said, we'll do collaboration.
Yes, so please, but in all honesty, thank you, thank you, thank you.